Welcome to OurTime. We have been friends for a long time, and I've watched our guest become a swimming coach and owner of a swimming school, a fitness coach, among many other things in the fitness industry. But his early retirement, he's become an artist, the curator and judge of the Brighton Sculptural Exhibition, an exhibitor at the Cube here in South Australia, and he's selling his artwork here and overseas. What's that noise? What's that I see in the sky? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Marc Spurgin. Oh, hello, Marc.
Hello, mate.
Nice of you to drop by. Oh, yes. How appropriate.
Thank
I
you,
don't think
Malcolm.
we've had anybody quite drop in like that.
Well, you've got to have a vision in life,
Well,
you know.
You do. We'll talk about that in a minute. I'm so pleased to have you on the program because we
Thanks,
have been
mate.
friends for a very long time.
Yeah, too long.
Best man at your wedding, all that sort of stuff. I think I've known you
Absolutely.
since you were 17.
Correct.
Okay, so let's talk about your early life because
Sure.
I remember you as a 17-year-old, very keen to get into the fitness industry,
Correct.
working out, bodybuilding, and
Oh,
before we knew, you were suddenly running a swimming school. What brought all that about? Where did you learn to swim?
Didn't.
You did, and you taught a swimming school.
Yeah, I ad-libbed the whole thing.
Did you really?
Truly, really.
At the
yeah.
beginning?
At the very beginning.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I just went into my boss and said, like, you know, I want to retire. I want to get out of this industry. And the guy said, and Neville Roberts said to me, no, you can't. And he said, what can we do to keep you? And
You
I
wanted
said,
to retire. You would have only been 18 or something.
retire
then.
out of the fitness
Yeah,
industry.
yeah.
You know, I was getting 27 at the time.
Oh, were you that old?
Yeah,
Okay.
when I first started. And
Time flies when you're having fun.
there you go. That's the journey.
It
So I just said to Neville, Neville said to me, what would you like to do? And I said, and I just blurted out, oh, why don't I start a swim school? And he said, I'll get back to you. And 2 days later.
And there happened to be a pool in the gym.
Correct. Yeah, so 6 weeks later I started the swim school. It was an eventful moment. But I learnt very quickly and then I ended up having 3 schools and then...
Yeah, did you get professional help to start with those so that you
Absolutely.
knew
Yeah,
the
my mum.
techniques? Oh, okay. Mum's come in handy for so many things.
Yeah, no, pretty much I actually got a book out and put it in a plastic bag and just read through it, got in the pool, started swimming.
So did experience teach you as you were teaching kids? Because it was primarily a
absolutely.
children's school.
Oh, absolutely.
Initially.
Yeah, sure. And, you know, I think I went to 32 international conferences on swimming and we, lectured there as well as...
I just want to make the
school.
point, you didn't just suddenly decide, I'm going to be a swimming instructor today and never do anything other than decide that.
Well, yes, I did.
Yeah, but I mean, you
go on.
went out and learnt the craft.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, that's-
Yeah, learnt the craft.
that's
Oh,
the
yeah,
point.
I became a coach. You know, I studied coaching. But you get to a point where you question Olympic level, really. When you get to a point where you know so much about it, then you are sitting with Olympic coaches and you're sitting down and you go like, you know, how do you control this? How do you make this happen? That's the level I got
And
to.
did you get to the point where you knew the answers before they did, or you advised them?
I think you get to a point where you don't question it. You just know it. I think, you know, you do it long enough.
It's like any skill in life, I suppose.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just,
And probably more so with what you're doing now because
Yep.
things change, but we're not ready to talk about that yet.
Go
So
on.
what happened next?
10 seconds later, I had 3 swim schools. It was amazing. People, because I was Marc Spurgin, they thought it was sturgeon, which was a fish.
Yes.
And they related it to it.
It's always been a
And
fishy
then,
subject.
like, I was having people ring me up and saying, how would you like another swim school? Oh, by the way, how would you like another swim school? All of a sudden, I had 3. And I ad-libbed that whole life.
Well, no, but you knew what you were doing. But when you say you ad-libbed the whole life, like
The
the
management
business
of it.
side of it, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah.
because that can be quite daunting because it's all right to be teaching in the pool, something that you know.
Yep.
But then there's all those dollars and cents that have got to pay for the
Absolutely.
electricity to keep the pool warm and the chemicals and the cleaning the pool and all the other things. How did you learn that? Was that just from experience?
Again, yeah,
You
going
didn't
off and
mind
doing
hard-
courses and
Yeah, but you also didn't mind hard work.
Oh, absolutely not. Oh gosh, I've never shunned from hard work ever. You know, that's the patronage of my parents placing inside of me. You know, so that wasn't an issue. you just get to a point where you have to know everything. You know, I mean, when I got to the point of building the school, I had to learn how to build a school as well.
In the marketing and everything else.
Oh, well, not just that. It's just how does the bolt go there? You know, how does a shower head go there?
And how many chemicals do I really need when it's still safe?
Yeah.
I remember once
water usage.
you got chemicals, I think, on your body and all your hair fell out.
Oh, look, that's, one of the initial stages of my career of being a swim coach. Yeah. It's quite interesting. After, I think it's 34 years or 35 years of coaching, I actually have no hair. It just doesn't grow back anymore. It just decided to stay away.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
But you've always had an adventurous spirit. You've done some extraordinary things in your life. But you went from being the coach, and the swimming coach. The reason I'm saying this is because we're going to head towards talking about your artistic pursuits.
Sure.
But because they weren't necessarily manifesting at that time, were they?
Oh, absolutely.
You were still making
nothing.
a few things around your house and things like that.
No, it really did come after my accident with scuba diving.
Tell us about that.
Oh, I just had neurological DCR, which basically the nitrogen transferred into my spine and
because
into my brain.
Because you came up too fast? Was it?
Oh, no. I'm a qualified cave diver, but the circumstances we're in left us in a great deal of duress, and things happened.
And that's how the body reacted.
And that's how it reacted, yeah.
And you did you lose memory as well during that
absolutely.
time?
I mean, my brain's a bit like Swiss cheese for my past. I always say to myself, I've had two lives. I had the life before DCI and the life after.
Right.
So the transition from life before and life after was, I became
It was different, yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I just started making art, like it was just oozing through me. And then it was...
so that explains all the wrinkles, doesn't
Thanks, man. Yeah. Keep pulling it back, Close pegs.
it? You've got to go here and do a man bun, I think. That's the only answer. Anyway, enough of this frivolity.
Yeah.
So the other day I came to your house.
Yep.
And you've built this amazing home with a huge workshop.
Yeah,
some people might call it a garage, but it's really a huge workshop.
Correct.
Hidden in the suburbs. And I shot this on my phone, and this really interested me just how easy it was for you to be cutting metal and doing stuff. Where did you learn to do all of this?
Self-taught.
Okay. So you just went out and bought one of these guns?
Yeah, pretty much. Did a little bit of night school, but it's all about feel.
Okay. But the other thing that I've found fascinating is what we're looking at now, which is all of your bits and pieces that you've actually picked up from...
Vinnies and salvos.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being out there.
But I love the thermos flasks that actually make up what we just saw you land with.
Well, that makes a jetpack.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So there's all those kitchen utensils and bits of old brass and things.
Lots of lights, lots of light fittings. Yeah, make up all the sculptures.
And all of those weld, okay?
No, you have to manipulate.
Okay, and these are sort of...
that's a recycled steel I've found from a gentleman, and he said,
these were just discs, weren't they, that you've welded together?
Yeah, just welded them together.
And again, this is the beginnings of another one of these...
Jetpacks.
What do you call them? Jetpacks?
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So it's just finding things and putting them together.
Yeah.
And just sort of being artistically savvy enough to think, oh, well, that would look good there.
Yeah.
Because that looks like an exhaust rather than a flower vase.
This is a helmet. I'm designing a futuristic helmet.
So first of all, it's a colander and a fruit bowl, I suppose.
Yeah. I'll take the top off.
And what's that? What are
I have
those?
no idea what they are. They're all relics from the past, what people have given away to salvos and vinnies, and I turn them into something.
As something, yes.
Yes.
And where did you get that sort of flair to look at something to say, well, I could make this out of that?
Oh, look, again, that came after the accident. I just started seeing things differently.
Right.
I became very visual. When they did all these brain scanning things, they said I was now 95% visual. So I was just
I've been able to see you all the time.
I know, but it's just my eyes. So I see things abstract. I can pick things up and put them in. It's a big jigsaw puzzle.
Well, it's not just that. It's also you've painted. You're painting as well and visualising these. And you've shown me a few of your sort of plans for other things you're going to make.
Sure.
But you're going to be amazed in a minute because we're going to show you some of these massive sculptures that he makes, and which is actually what's caused him to sell all around the world.
Yeah.
And we'll be back to show those in just a tick. Our guest on this episode is my friend Marc Spurgin. Marc, we have to have a look at this that you flew in with.
Yep.
Now, obviously, it's made out of bits and pieces of things.
Yep. Light fittings, shop fittings, tap fittings. Top of light fittings there. There's a
And thermos flasks.
thermos flask.
It looks
There's
like
a candle thing from a church.
And it looks like a bread rack on the back.
It is a bread rack.
That's right, it looks like one. What inspired you to make these? Because obviously they're decorative and just for fun, or you could wear them along to a fancy dress party or whatever.
Well, that's basically what they're for.
So
I just met a guy in Lightning Ridge, Peter Cook, who sat down with me one day and he sort of said, let's have a look at your work. And I said, I'm showing it through. And he's an artist himself. And he said, you ever tried steampunk? And I sort of, what's steampunk? Never heard of it.
So you bought the hat because that's very steampunk.
Oh, definitely. Anyway, I went back to the caravan at the time and looked up steampunk and absolutely fell in love.
It's fun, isn't it?
Well, it's allow your creativity,
but the fact that it's just out of,
bibs and bobs.
I was about to say bibs and bobs. You read my lips.
Yeah.
Coming from second-hand stores that would probably end up in
Landfill.
Well, yes, or just sold for scrap metal.
Correct.
And now there's something that's really fun to look at or to play with.
Yeah.
But we'll show some of your statues in a minute. But talking about some of the terrific work that you do, also paint work. So here's some examples of your paint work. This one here, who's that?
Oh, it's just somebody sinister. I don't know who it is. It came through with Frankenstein, but I don't think it worked out too well.
I don't know. That's what I was about to say. It's got very Frankenstein-y type look about it. And this next photo, which...
Isn't she just amazing?
Well, yes. How did this face come to you?
Oh, I don't know. She just needed to be powerful.
She needed to be painted.
And that's my beautiful dog.
I remember. What was his name?
Socks.
Of course it was. What else do you call a dog?
17 years, 3 months and 2 days, but not counting.
And the monkey?
Oh, that's my daughter.
Nice of you to call her that.
Yeah, no, she's always thinking too much. So that's in her hallway as she goes into her bedroom just to go you've got to chill out, mate.
Love that. And she's had a fascinating career as well.
Yeah.
But and there's one other, I think. There's another photo.
That's it.
Oh, okay. So they're different paintings that you do, but what you started doing almost at the beginning was getting bits of scrap metal, old farm machinery, anything that was metallic, and putting them together.
Yeah.
And some of these extraordinary creations occurred. Now, there's one that you've kept, and we were talking the other day how when you were spray painting it
Blue
fell
poles.
over in the dirt. And I think this is actually
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, I kind of rolled it over and it was covered in gravel.
And you brushed off the gravel. It's given it such an interesting look.
Yeah, I brushed the gravel off and I went, gee, it's kind of cool. So when I rolled it over the other side, I had a little straw and I was blowing paint onto it and I just threw rocks on it.
And this is something, is this like a fanciful suit of armour?
Well, she's a deep diver, steampunk deep diver. I mean, she's like Atlantis's guard, I guess.
And is this sort of a close-up of the same?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I use a lot of jewellery now, which is really lovely.
Right.
Gives it a lot more depth. The backpack and everything goes along for the ride.
Right. And here's something completely different.
Yeah, that's from Monash University in Sydney. That was on the the cancer proteins.
Right.
What made up bits and bobs for them.
Something you've kept in your home, this one?
Yeah, just a friend of mine who introduced me to the monarch butterfly. I made that for her for her birthday. And there's, of course, that steampunk goddess.
Okay.
She's
Well, you've gone a bit
cool.
steampunky, but round your
definitely.
house, you've got so many of these, and of course you've sold so many.
Yeah, no, she's gone. She's gone to Perth. This is Steampunk Chieftain. He's her wife, husband, get it right.
Okay.
This is just beautiful. This is from a lovely girl sitting on the side of my pool deck telling me about her fairy. So I made that fairy for her. And that's at Centennial Park. From a really close friend of mine called Helen who passed away, and I had to do something for her, and that's what I made for her.
In memory of?
Of course. Yeah,
I've noticed there's a lot of female figures here, Mark.
I think the female figure is just so dynamically beautiful. You know, I think women have...
But this isn't a... Oh, that's... Actually, this is a bird. You made this ages ago, didn't you?
Yeah, that was out of my backyard. I pulled my fence down and then created an owl kind of thingy, kind of. Oh, and the dolphins. Oh, what beautiful stories about those dolphins, where they went to.
Where are these?
They're gone now. They're in people's homes now.
Oh, okay.
But a lovely...
So these were all from the Brighton...
Yes, they're all Brighton.
exhibition?
That's all Brighton gig again. Yeah, yeah. That's Brighton again. That's Spirit Timekeeper. There's Helen again. She's just pretty as.
They're lovely. They're lovely.
Oh, that was the governor and the governess hanging out with the advertiser for Sala. So they sat with my sculpture. She fell in love with it. Oh, and there's the diver at the Intercontinental Hotel.
Is that here in Adelaide?
Yeah,
Right.
That's gone now. That's sold.
The funny thing is, these sculptures, people obviously are going to have them in their homes,
Sure.
or they're going to be in a
Gallery.
hotel or a gallery or
Yep.
wherever. But talk about the exhibition on the beach, because you started just as an exhibitor.
Oh,
there.
absolutely. Yeah, probably 9-10 years ago. Went in there super green, really bad. The sculpture fell apart on the way down, so I drove it back and welded it up again. It was a majorly bad move. And then I just took the role. Next minute I was judging it, which I was very super proud to have that
But
opportunity.
this is part of your life. You come in sort of at the bottom shelf, and suddenly you're on the top shelf. Is it devotion, dedication?
Absolutely.
Is it?
Yeah, for sure. You know, you if you're going to step up properly.
Yeah, but you know, we talk about the dive that sort of changed
my
the
life.
balance of your life.
Sure.
Do you think some of this came out of that, like the ability to rise above?
Oh,
your actual
absolutely.
Skill?
Oh, absolutely. You know, you go through that much pain and that much suffering for that long. You come out of it
You're not
differently.
talking about our friendship. Our friendship was full of pain and suffering. I'm talking.
No, I'm talking about physical pain.
Yes, I
mental and
understand.
physical pain.
I understand.
Yeah.
Look, the other thing that's so interesting about you, you're forever off somewhere around the world, or in a huge caravan you've got travelling around Australia.
Absolutely.
What? I know you don't like big cities. What's the appeal in small places, or
the people,
or just open landscape?
Oh, the place, the people, open landscape because.
Or actually, now it's called being on country, I suppose.
I wouldn't have a clue.
Well, that's the word now that we're describing.
Is it?
Yeah, just going out into the bush and just absorbing the bush.
Absolutely. Yeah, I could do it for months. It doesn't. It really, fills my heart. Really does. And going around Australia, it's such a beautiful little country. Well, massive country, but it's a beautiful country.
Yeah.
And I've not had the opportunity because I've always been overseas, travelling wherever.
Well, you really have been virtually everywhere.
From Antarctica to Iceland.
Yes.
Is the two sort
Took a
of.
friend's ashes to Antarctica.
Yes, we did. Yeah, John's. Yeah.
So, what's life taught you, do you think?
Be patient. Be patient.
Okay.
And listen. Yeah, listen. too much mobile phones. You know, I was up in Port Stephens the other day, and this lady walked across the road with a mobile phone. She didn't even look, and I just went, "Wow, that's so scary."
It is, isn't it?
It's just so scary.
We're living life without observing where we are.
Absolutely, not in the moment at all.
No, in a surreal world, and we're missing the world.
We are.
We're missing what we see.
Yeah, and
But you haven't missed out on a lot, because
Yep.
you've also been a great gardener
I love gardening. Yeah.
Yep, an inventor in all of those areas. You're also quite mechanical.
Yeah.
What happens when things break down and you're in the middle of nowhere?
Fix it.
But you can't take your word.
Rubber bands and wire.
And blue tack.
And glue tack.
Okay,
It all works.
You're about to start on a huge adventure, but we're going to come back and tell you about that in just a moment. Our guest has been Marc Spurgin, artist, sculptor, and we were talking about sculpting because there's no other word really for what you're doing with the metal stuff, is there?
It is what it is.
Creator. We'll just call you creator.
Well, that sounds
Now,
biblical.
the other thing about you is you've always done extraordinary, stupidly dumb things,
Thank you.
like riding a push bike for millions of miles all over the place.
Yes, I have.
And now you're going to go to Japan to ride your bike all over Japan.
For a month.
Why?
Because it's there.
There must be another reason.
I love the cultures. I mean, I travel to feel the experience of culture, and there's nothing better than to do it grassroots. So I figured a tent, a couple of pannion bags, and a bit of food on the front will get me
Well,
where
tent
I
will
need
be
to
nice
be.
in places like Tokyo. You'll love that. Maybe not.
Don't need to.
No, so you've mapped out this trip that you're going to make.
Yep.
Some of the time you will be in a tent, other times...
24 days I'm in a tent.
Okay, then you're going to give yourself the absolute pleasure of a hotel.
No, I've got a little cubicle.
Have you booked a cubicle?
A little
Oh, have
cubicles.
you really?
Yeah,
Okay.
where you go.
Yeah, okay.
It's a diving technique.
Crazy, crazy, crazy.
Sounds like fun.
You, right from childhood, you discovered that you can't eat animal
Oh no,
flesh.
yeah, I'm a full-blown vegetarian from birth. I have a protein deficiency in the tummy, so yeah, no red, white, fish, eggs, any.
Right.
I've
So
never.
that makes it very difficult for you.
Well, it's relevant to what you know, and
Sure.
I don't know anything else, so it doesn't matter.
Sure.
It just doesn't matter. I've never thought about it.
No, isn't that interesting? But I think for most people who do whatever we do, we don't really think about it. We just do it.
That's correct.
Because
You
it
know,
makes you feel
and people
good.
say, "Oh, it must be so bad," and I go like, "Well, it's been all my life, so you know, it can't be that bad. I'm still breathing. I'm still
you're
here.
Still alive, yes. You're 20 years older than me. Younger than me, but look 20 years older. Yes. Marc, of all of the things you've done in your life, what do you think the next stage is going to be? Because you've been through so many different stages.
Oh, more of the same. I think getting to 63 now, I think it's super important to make sure that I do the things I can do.
Yep.
Hence the bike riding. And when that gives...
But you've been building up to that. You're not just suddenly going to arrive with...
No,
you're not
48 kilometres today was ridden.
Yes.
And 5K walk.
Yes.
So I'm preparing.
But you're doing this, you're that physical most of the time, aren't you?
Absolutely.
You're always doing something.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'd probably do 150, 180 Ks a week on my bike because I love it. And I just,
What is it? Is it the fresh air? What is it?
I guess it's single pointed focus. You know, you're just in your space and you don't have to think about anything else.
Yeah, I understand that. And also you're really training your body to continue to be healthy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Marc, I'm so pleased we could have this chat. It's the
absolutely,
second
Ray.
time you've been on Our Time,
Sure.
as I recall, but we never had a chance to talk about all these diverse things before. Great success. Come back and tell us about the trip.
Oh, boy.
So, folks, until next time on Our Time, hopefully with the pictures, keep yourself nice till next time we meet. Bye.